Top 10 most dirtiest places in the airplane. If you're looking to travel as a first-time airplane traveler, or even if you're somebody who travels by airplane frequently, then you need to know the spots that are the most dirtiest places in an airplane. I'm sure the toilets come to mind when we talk about the most dirtiest places in an airplane, but you might be wrong. Even though these airplane companies do well to make sure that the airplanes are very neat and passengers are healthy, but still, because of high passenger turnover and also tight schedules, there are some spots that still exist in the airplane. If you want to know the most dirtiest places in an airplane, stick and stay with us. Don't go away. Let's go into this. Now, if you think that it's only the toilet that is considered as unclean in an airplane, then you might be wrong. Now, the first spot that is considered as unkempt is the tray tables. Usually these tray tables are used to serve food and for working, and even in some instances, baby diapers are changed on these tray tables. And so what you need to do is that you need to wipe them with disinfectant. Not all the time that the airplanes are able to clean them from one flight to the another. So in these cases, before you sit on that, you need to clean these tray tables with disinfectant. Now, another place that you might be missing that is considered as very unkempt in the airplane is bathroom handles and latches. These are spots that is highly fluid. That means that the possibility of these places getting wet is high, and bacteria breed easily at very wet areas. And so what you need to do is that you need to use tissue to open these latches and handles. In these cases, you are able to escape these bacteria that can harm you. Another spot that you might be missing that is considered as unkempt is seat belt or buckle seat belt. These seat belts are attached by almost every passenger, and sometimes it's not being able to clean from one flight to another. And so these seat belts carry a lot of bacteria that can harm your body. And so what you need to do is that as much as possible, try and clean these seat belts with disinfectant. In that case, you are able to get rid of, if not almost all the bacteria, some significant numbers of the bacteria. Another spot that is considered as unclean in the airplane is entertainment screens. Sometimes most of the time, some of the seats have screens behind them that the passengers use for entertainment purposes. These screens are touched by almost every passenger. And so the best thing to do is that before touching these screens, try to wipe them with disinfectant. Approved disinfectant, so that you don't go about destroying the screen. And after touching them, make sure that you don't touch your face. In these cases, you are able to avoid contact with most of the bacteria. Another spot that is considered as very unkempt in an airplane is seat pocket. Seat pocket is one of the spots that are the most abused spot in an airplane, such that almost everybody puts trash in those seat pockets, like wrappers, used tissues, and etc. So don't be part of those guys breathing bacteria in the seat pocket. And if you had to put your hands in those seat pockets, make sure that you sanitize your hands with disinfectant or hand sanitizers. Another spot that is considered as most dirtiest places or spots in an airplane that new travelers need to take note, or even regular travelers did not know, is window shades. Window shades are touched by everybody. We've had an instances where even two passengers are fighting about who is supposed to open and who is supposed to close the window shade. These window shades are touched by everybody, and so bacteria are bred on those surfaces. So wipe your window shades before you use them. Another spot that new travelers or even regular airplane travelers need to know is that armrests are part of the most dirtiest spot in airplane. Armrest is touched by everybody, especially when you want to rest your arm. And even those armrests in the aisle is the most dirtiest because people who even walk past try to touch them, use them as support. So before you sit down, wipe your armrest with disinfectant in order to avoid contact with bacteria. Another spot is overhead air vents and buttons or light buttons. Light buttons are used by every passenger. Some people try to adjust their air condition, try to adjust their overhead light, and etc. So it's touched by everybody. So before you use these buttons, make sure that you wipe them so that you don't get into contact with bacteria. Another spot that probably you have overlooked is the overhead cabins, where you put your carry-on bags on top. I know we have some in buses too. And in airplane, it is touched by almost every passenger who wants to place his or her bags up there. So before you use them, wipe them. And finally, another spot that is so close to you but you overlook that has a lot of bacteria is behind the seat. A lot of people touch behind the seat, and to some extent, some people even rest their feet behind the seat. So, passenger seats are considered one of the breeding places for bacteria. So, before you sit down, make sure that you wipe the seat that is in front of you because you might not know if the air flight companies were able to clean them or not. So, in order to avoid contact with these bacteria, just wipe them with disinfectant or hand sanitizers. So this content is for new travelers who are here to travel in an airplane, or even regular travelers who always travel with airplanes that overlooked or that did not know these spots are spots that contains a lot of bacteria. I know this is going to help you a lot. If you found this content very informative, educative, and very entertaining, subscribe to my channel Inside with Bismarck, and I'll see you with another content.